Welcome, and thank you for joining me on your mat today for this practice for flexibility. This practice is for all levels. We will be opening up in the hip flexors, stretching the legs, the hamstrings, the thighs, the calves, and finding some openness. This practice will be great to try to gain your flexibility in reaching the splits and just releasing some emotional tension that we store here in our hip flexors. When you're ready, we will begin in a downward facing dog. This is quite a tight asana as we're starting here. So just be gentle with yourself and walk your dog a bit, pedaling through your downward facing dog and just finding a little bit of a stretch here. Set an intention for your practice. Drop in here and now. And when you're ready, we will lift the right leg for three-legged dog. We will bend at the knee, so we are opening pretty wide here in the hip. We can draw some circles with the knee and just find what feels good, finding that stretch. When you're done finding some movement here in your hip, we will straighten the leg, tuck it in, and bring it up, framing the right foot, coming into a low lunge. You can keep that back foot tucked for stability and lift the arms up overhead. Take a moment here to inhale and exhale out the mouth. You may sink a little deeper, maybe coming into a slight back bend. Inhale once more, and on your exhale, sink your hips deeper. Nice. On your next inhale, we will plant the palms on the inside of our right foot, coming into a lizard variation. You can walk that right foot out closer to the right edge of your mat. You can stay here on the palms, or you can come onto the forearms. And we'll just rotate the hips here. Just finding some organic movement here in lizard pose. As we sink deep, your knees should be on the edge of your mat. You can splay it out if that's possible. And for some support, you can place your right palm onto the inner side of your right knee. You should be coming on the outer edge of the right foot. And inhale. On your exhale, we will bring it back to center, planting the palms, framing the right foot, and stepping it back to downward facing dog. Pedal it out. On an inhale, we will lift the left leg up for three-legged dog, and we will bend at the knee, drawing big circles with the knee here. Opening that left hip flexor, really stacking over the hips. On your next inhale, we will straighten the left leg, tuck it in, frame the foot, curl the back right toes down, and rise up for low lunge. We want to find this stretch in our hips, so on every exhale, try to sink a little lower. Reaching the arms up overhead. You may come into a slight back bend if that's in your practice. And on an exhale, we will bring the palms down to the mat on the inside of the left foot. Coming into lizard variation here, you can walk the left foot towards the left side of the mat. You can come here on the palms, or you can come into a deeper stretch as you lie on the forearms. Really sinking deep here. Try to find some movement in the hips. Just playing with gravity and playing with your mobility at whatever stage you're in. Continue to bring the prana, your breath, on every exhale, sinking a little deeper, and then coming out of the stretch if you need. On an inhale, we will splay the left knee out. You can either place the left palm on the left inner knee, or you can try to splay with gravity. You should feel the stretch in your left hip flexor. Try to shine your heart towards the sky as you twist here. Inhale deeply. And on an exhale, we will slowly come out of your lizard, framing the left foot and stepping back, downward facing dog. Stretch it out here. On your next inhale, we will lift the left leg and come into a left side skandasana, bending at the left knee and straightening the right leg, flexing the toes to the sky, hands at heart center, or if you're not too balanced, you can bring the palms to the mat or bring the ground up to you with a block. Inhale deeply and exhale, sink a little lower. Try not to fall on your bottom. Really opening up that hip flexor. And if this is too much, you can come into a child's pose. On your next inhale, we will crawl through the middle, coming onto the right side as we straighten the left leg, flexing the left foot, and bending at the right knee. Just like before, you can come with your palms at heart center, the palms on the ground, or you can bring the mat up to you with a block. Modify when needed and take a child's pose when you need to. These stretches should not hurt, and you shouldn't feel like you're muscling into any of the asanas. On your next inhale, we will come to the center of our mat. Legs out farther than hip width apart. We will sink into goddess pose. And we will flow here as we sink, bringing our palms to heart center. And then straightening our legs and bringing our palms up towards the sky. Capturing whatever serves you. And then bringing it back down to heart center. We will move through a couple more here as we bend the knees, heart center, and straighten the legs, reaching. Once more, as you sink down, try to stay here, bending at the knees. Feet should be splayed out side to side, and hands at heart center for one breath. Inhale deeply and exhale, straighten the legs. Nice. When you're ready, we will realign. Your toes should be pointing forward, a little farther than hip width apart. We will place our hands on our hips, hinging at the hips, and forward fold. Flat back position here, and then fold. Bringing the palms in line with the arches. If this feels good, you can try to bring the crown of your head to the mat or to a block. But try to stay here, bending deeply, looking at the wall behind you. On your next inhale, we will use our Uddiyana Bandha, our core, to rise up. And on an exhale, we will step to the top of our mat, bringing our feet as wide as the mat, toes splaying out. We will drop here into a yogi squat. Hands at heart center and elbows pressing the knees away. You can close your eyes here, keeping the spine nice and long, chest shining forward and up, sternum to thumbs, and just remember your intention. When you're ready, we will place our palms down on the mat, step back, and come into our first tabletop position. We will come into a froggy pose. So this asana may not be for everyone, but if you have a pillow or a block, you can bring that to the knees, making this asana a little bit more easier to bear. This is quite an intermediate asana, so be very careful and mindful, listening to the body as we sink low. Knees splay out, feet splay out. Our hips are wide open. Some emotions may arise throughout this practice, and that's okay. We hold a lot of our emotions in our hips. On your next inhale, we will come to our belly, supporting ourselves with our elbows and forearms. And we'll try to bring our soles of our feet together. So this is another froggy variation. Just opening the hips here. Keeping the neck nice and long and the chest forward. On your next inhale, we will release, rolling onto our bottoms and just windshield wipering the legs to the right and to the left. Take a couple movements here, and when you're ready, we will come into butterfly. Bring the soles of your feet together, grabbing at the shins or the ankles, placing the elbows on the knees, and try to bend forward as if you're looking into an imaginary pond, looking at your reflection. So you may be here, or you may be where I am, here. But that's okay wherever you are. Take that stretch. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the nose. taking this moment to surrender. You can place your third eye on the ground if that's possible, or you can even bring a block to the third eye as well. On your next inhale, we will slowly rise up and we will straighten the legs out side to side for middle splits. You can stay here up on the palms, or you can come down to the belly, to the forearms to get a deeper stretch. Flexing the toes and then pointing the toes. Keep it pretty here. You shouldn't feel any tension. On your next inhale, we will slowly make our way back up to seated and move our way mindfully onto our hands and knees, tabletop position, straightening out the legs, just stretching here. And then when you're ready, we will come into our right-legged pigeon, bending at the knee and bringing our right ankle behind the left palm. You can look behind you to look at that left leg to make sure that it is straight, making sure that your alignment is well. You can stay here on the fingertips, or you can sink lower, coming onto the forearms. Rest here as we surrender. If any emotions arise, just feel them. Let them come as passing clouds, and then let them drift. Focusing on the breath, inhaling deeply, and on an exhale, we will crawl our hands to the left side of our mat, resting here. On your next inhale, we will rise up, and then we will move on to the right side of the mat, surrendering here, finding what feels good. On your next exhale, we will slowly rise up and then make our way out of our pigeon. We will move into a seated position, easy pose, bringing our left foot over the right, and then just folding forward here over the legs. Flexing the foot, and then when you're ready, we will rise up. Grab the left leg, cradling it almost like a child, and just rocking side to side, massaging. And when you're ready, we will release, windshield wiper the legs, and then move onto our left leg pigeon. So your left foot should be right behind the right wrist. Straightening that right leg, making sure that your foundation is well. You can stay up here on the fingertips, or you can lay on the forearms, surrendering. Remember why you came here today. Remember the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice, and give in to it. Inhale through the nose, and then exhale. We will reach to the right side of the mat. Surrender here. On your next inhale, we will rise up on the palms, and then we will slowly make our way into easy pose. You will bring the right foot on top of the left, and then just slowly draping over the shins, bowing the head, coming on the forearms, and breathing. On your next inhale, we will rise up, cradling the right leg like a child and rocking back and forth, massaging your hip flexor and your glute, and breathe. On your next inhale, we will release, come into a comfortable seat, and we will meditate for a few minutes here. Close your eyes. Focus on your breathing. As your mind wanders, which it will, plenty of times, we just remind ourselves of the breath, returning back to our awareness of our prana as we inhale deeply and exhale fully. Taking whatever breathing technique is best for you. You can come into your regular breath, ujjayi breathing, or pranayama. Inhale deeply, and then sigh it out. Another collective breath as we inhale through the nose and sigh it out. Your mind, body, and soul thanks you for showing up today for yourself, moving mindfully, being present, and nurturing your temple. We will inhale, bring our palms to heart center. Take a moment here. Inhale deeply, bringing our thumbs to our third eye, and then bowing, closing our practice with Jai Namaste.